Make empty the dishwasher an item. Wipe the stove. That way you can cross off items more quickly and not feel overwhelmed. It's a very good idea. Carol says, yes, I always make a list. Lynn says, love me some lists. Charlene says, I love lists. My lists have lists. Laurie says, oh, yes, and alarms. Yes, that's another thing kind of now. You set an alarm. I do that when I have, like, tickets that I want to buy, stuff like that. Teresa said, sadly, yes, LOL. Karen says, yes, and it's so satisfying when I use my orange highlighter to cross off the line. Kathy says, absolutely, make monthly, weekly, and sometimes daily lists. Writing this, I'm thinking I clearly have a problem. It's okay, Kathy. Whatever works for you. Linda says, I have always lived by a list. And Jim says, yes, I go through more Post-its than Joe. I'm thinking that is a reference to the time he wrote Post-it happy birthday notes to me all over the house. And we ran out of Post-its after that. So thank you all for your contributions to my topic of the day. I guess now I'm going to have to start writing lists. I guess maybe I should have taken a cue from my mother and kept that run the dishwasher note, and that way I could just reuse it. I'm trying to make myself feel better by just saying that I really wasn't home all day like I typically am the last 2 days, and that if I was in my normal routine, I would have remembered, and I really, really do think that I would have remembered. So there you go. I guess this is just going to keep happening, and it's a little scary to me that I just don't remember things like I used to. I've never had a great memory, really, ever, but sometimes it's a little frightening how fast the mind seems to be going. So I'm going to move on to my blog post, and I'm kind of going off the theme for the week. The theme for the week has been Embrace Your Age. I kind of veered off a little bit yesterday when I was talking about that woman from the original article I had posted from the Wall Street Journal about women coming into their own in their 50s, still up on the group page if you would like to go read it. And there was that one Negative Nancy, the Debbie Downer, who said, oh, yeah, it's easy to make all these plans when, you have money and you don't have to worry about paying your bills. And I figured, she was just making excuses for why she couldn't do what she really wants to do. So I decided to kind of stick with that a little bit because on my way to Atlantic City yesterday, I was listening to a podcast and I got such great information and clarification from it that I had to share it with you. It was the Gold Digger podcast with Jenna Kutcher. She had on a guest, and they were discussing when you have a door open for you, you just have to go for it. That's it. Walk through the door. And that is the topic for today. Now, the most valuable information I got from this is that you won't always, and more than likely, won't know the path to take once you get to the other side of that door. But here's the thing. You will figure it out. You learn by doing. The path will reveal itself to you. There are a couple of things to keep in mind, though. Now, once you have decided this is the path you are going to take, once you make the decision, you will be willing to do whatever it takes to get to that end goal. So you have to decide. Just decide. This is what I'm doing. No, flakiness, no back and forth. Nope, this is it. I'm all in. And 2, you have to believe you can do it. That is probably the more difficult of the 2. If you aren't at the point where you believe you can do anything you set your mind to, hang with me. We will get there. Now, I've written down a sort of manifesto of how I see my life unfolding in the next few months and years. And at the very end, I have written down something that was recommended by Jen Chinchero. Apparently, I have been saying her name wrong all this time. I found out her name is Jen Chinchero, which I'm not really sure why because it's spelled with an S. But if that's how she pronounces her name, that is how it is pronounced. The author of You Are a Badass. So this is what it is. This is what I write down, or what I wrote down and now reread at least once a day, ideally more than once a day. It's not my job to know the how, only to ask the universe for what I want. wait to discover the how, then take action. So that's exactly what I'm doing right now. And you can too. I'm figuring all this stuff out as I go along. There is a lot of stuff I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm getting better. I'm figuring stuff out. So you should be asking yourself, what would you be doing if you had all the money you needed? Aside from doing nothing, come on, people. What is the thing you love doing more than anything? Can you turn that into something that you do more often? Can you make a living at it, even if it takes a long time? You don't have to turn your hobbies or what lights you up into a career. You may be perfectly happy in your career and just want a little more joy in your life. That's what the goal is, to bring more joy and happiness into our lives. But if you do want to turn your passion into something more, then you really should go for it. Is there a door open in front of you and you've always been just a little too afraid to walk through it? Have you been too afraid to even realize a door is open right in front of you? I've been there. Then I decided to walk through. I decided to do whatever it takes to get to my end goal. And most importantly, I believe it will happen. And here's the thing about talking about your goals with other people. The most interesting thing happened when I decided to start doing this. I've always been one of those people who loves a lot of outside input. I like advice. What do you think about this? Do you think I should do this? Do you think I should do that? What do you think about this idea? Do you think it'll fly? Or do you think it's a waste of time? That's been my life. When I decided to do this, I didn't ask anybody. I just decided I'm doing it. I don't need any outside influence, especially because more times than not, as sadly as it is, people will try to talk you out of it. They will tell you why it won't work. They will poo-poo your ideas. And I don't think they're trying to be mean. I think that you're just doing something that's so big in their mind that you make them feel a little bit inadequate because you're trying to do something that they don't think they can do. So trying to keep you down is a way to make themselves feel better, if you get what I'm saying. So what I'm trying to tell you is, if you do get this negative input, you have to just let it roll off. You can't even consider it. You know what you're doing. You're going to figure it out as you go along, and you believe that you are on the right path. Even my husband, we were joking the other day. I was saying, we were talking about it the one day, and I know I had mentioned this, that he doesn't think that, he's not sure that it's going to be, this Hopefulist thing is going to be as big as I think it's going to be. He's supportive of me, and he wants me to do what's going to make me happy. So I had joked with him and said what I should have said. It's very nice that my husband supports me, even though he doesn't believe in me. Now, I don't want you to take that wrong. He believes in me. He just doesn't believe to the extent that I do. But you know what? I don't need him to. I don't need any outside influence to back me up on this. I believe enough that I'm not going to listen to any negativity about it. And I'm just going to do what I do. And I know it's going to go where I want it to go. And then when it does, I'm going to say, told you so, told you so, I told you so. But in a nice way. Because we're hopefulists and we're nice. Most of the time. So keep all of that in mind. You know, I'm not saying that you shouldn't tell people, but you have to be prepared for negativity. You have to be prepared for people who will feel resentful that you're doing something that makes them feel insecure in their own life and in their, reaching out for their dreams and for their goals. I had a conversation with a friend recently about how she would love to go to law school. I tried to come up with ways that she could make that happen. Of course, the major problem is the debt she will be saddled with when she's finished. Now, it's usually a good investment, but after listening to this podcast yesterday, my advice is sign up. Go. She's already looked into classes and how she can do them along with her full-time job. She's ready for this. She's looked into financial aid and grants and all that kind of stuff. She just has to walk through the door. The way to paying back the loans will reveal itself in time. You will figure it out. Just go. Just do it. Start living your dream now. This is what I want for all of you. Can you do it? Think about it. Like I said, hang with me, and we'll all be kicking down doors. We're not going to wait for them to open for us. We're going to kick those big old doors down. So it is hump day. We are halfway there. So think about those doors. Some of them already open right in front of you, and you just haven't noticed. Be prepared to start walking through it. I know you can do it because I believe in you. I know that once you decide, like I decided, nothing will stop you from doing what you want to do most. So keep all of this in mind. Do some thinking, look at some doors, and make it your best day yet.
Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist, hosted by Wendy McClure. For more inspiration, please visit hopefulist.com. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow on The Hopefulist.